What's up? Dave Dufort here at the Dig Agency. I'm here with my friends in the business, Mr. Ryan Valet and Matt De La Rosa. How you guys doing?
Doing good, doing good. How about yourself?
Doing very
Fan,
well.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. So we're here because Matt, who's an agent of Ryan's, is absolutely crushing it selling over the phone. In September, he closed over $40,000 in final expense business exclusively over the phone. And we're going to discover today how he did it. We're going to walk through his process of what he does day to day over the phone to sell. We're going to get some insight to his script about what he says to open a conversation, what he says to close a conversation, and really ask him some pointed questions, as well as get Ryan's perspective too on really why Matt is so successful doing this. So let's jump in. First of all, Matt, if you don't mind giving us like a brief 15-second introduction about yourself, and then Ryan, I'll call you in after that.
Yeah, so my name is Matthew De La Rosa, and I've been in final expense now going on 3 months. November's my third month, and I've been working with Ryan pretty much since September when I got started.
Awesome. Ryan, how about you? Who are you?
Yeah, my name's Ryan Valet. So I started in final expense, in insurance, life insurance, we're pushing 2 years ago now. And essentially haven't looked back since, working with Dave for about a year now, I think, together, and been well worth the switch. And found Matt. He was kind of a rusty nail laying on the side of the road, and I picked him up and polished him up, and now he's the fantastic salesman that he is today. So
Yeah, I'll add here just so you guys are wondering. So Ryan runs an agency through the Dig Agency that he does telesales. His team does telesales. He's actively recruiting, and you'll get more information on how to contact him. So just want to make sure that that's clear from the get-go. So Matt, how in the heck did you write $40,000? That's $10,000 in premium a week. Probably about 8 to 10 apps a week on average. How did you do that? Walk us through kind of like your sales process, your activity, kind of the time you put in. Just start somewhere, and we'll kind of follow up with some questions.
For sure. So really, we establish our own leads as a team, and so what happens is get leads in, and some of them book appointments. The majority you got to call and just sticking with it and calling and seeing, who's picking up the phone. And, once you get them on the phone, just talking to them like it's potentially your last person that you might hear from that day, and, pitching the script. And so in short, it's been hour wise. I really I could only put in like 32 to 36 hours a week because of extracurricular activities with my kids. So I didn't even
Wow.
get to work weekends. So it was like trying to get a start, early morning. I could start 7 a.m. here, hit Eastern where it's 8, and try to close the sale before 8:30 or 8 a.m. my time. And really just kind of taking advantage of the morning, and then, just using that as fuel to get to the next one, and so on and so forth. So in a weird way, you kind of just, Ryan's had to tell me like, hey, calm down, relax, but it's in a weird way lying to yourself to make yourself think you don't have any sales, and then you keep that same like steam of energy going type thing.
Right.
And otherwise you make some sales and you kind of just kick it for a little bit, so really it's just managing every minute of your time and and really it's like I said, making dials,
Right.
calling, having solid leads and things like that.
So let's break that down a little bit further. So first of all, you're starting dials on the client's time at 8 in the morning, which is earlier, I think, than most agents do. What's your general reaction been calling them at 8 in the morning? Are they receptive? Are they picking up the phone? Are they
Yeah.
yelling at you for waking them up? What have you seen?
No, like, so whenever they answer, some of them are like, look, I'm just getting ready to cook breakfast. Can we talk in 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Let me just get my coffee down. Okay, that's fine. In the meantime, I'm still calling and trying to get someone else on the line. That way, knowing I'm coming up on an appointment in 30 minutes, getting someone set up for the following appointment. So really, you do have the ones that are like, if they're not answering, I give them a call back around 11 just to touch base, see if I can reach them then. And if not, move on, and I try not to do the whole blow them up early, but I do take advantage of the time change, because
Sure.
any time that's being wasted is time that's a potential sale lost. Um, and then ultimately treating them like family, right? You want to make sure you get them the best coverage possible, not just make them a sale, but like what's going to fit their budget, and, working it that way.
And how late will you call these leads with your tie-ups with extracurricular activities?
So in September, I was having to get out of here at 3:30, 4 o'clock at the
Wow.
latest. And up until this start of November, I had to do that. So I was really only getting a dial until 4 o'clock at, Central Time. And then um, occasional Saturdays I'd try when I'd get back from sports games, a couple dials here and there, but really it all came from Monday through Friday. And that was, again, I was having to leave here at 4 o'clock, all but
So
one day a
you're not
week.
even dialing during prime time, which I think is 5 to 9, and you're still
Oh
right inside the
no.
business. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say never, but I haven't had the ability to make those dials during that time frame.
Right. Gotcha. Ryan, let me bring you in here. Give us some advice, because you've been doing telesales for quite a while as well. When it comes to dialing your leads, is there some kind of general advice you'd give to the newer agents, like strategies that help optimize their success? We talk a lot about triple dialing. What's your thoughts on that? And what else can you recommend to a newer telesale or an aspiring telesales agent to get more dials in and talk to more people?
Yeah, so as you said, the ultimate recommendation is always to triple dial. Don't be afraid if the client picks up the phone mad. That's not the end of the world. And actually, the majority of people answer on that third dial. Matter of fact, another one of my agents, Brian, this morning, he literally said that exact thing. He's like, I dialed her 3 times, and on the third time, she answered mad and was wondering who it was, but then was perfectly fine once he explained exactly what it was. So that's obviously a given, as everybody preaches. The other things are, especially whenever you're developing your own leads, having a system touch them right away. That is absolutely key. So that way they know someone is there and that they didn't just give their information to a bot. And then trying to contact them, again, obviously at least a text message immediately. Next thing is the ability to call them as fast as possible. But we also use a system where many of our clients actually pre-set appointments with us.
Okay.
So that also makes a big difference. And throughout that pre-setting appointment, they see exactly who we are. We've got a picture available for them, and that shows exactly who we are. So when we call them and we tell them, this is Matt, this is Ryan, this is Brian, whoever it may be, they know exactly who they're actually talking to. So there's a level of trust that is developed right out the gate.
And do you make your agents have to go through and set all this stuff up, or do you have some kind of templated approach where you can just plug them in to make it work?
It's always best for people to go through the trenches as much as possible so they know exactly how everything works. But for the most part, yes, we've got a pretty good template. Obviously, everybody is adjusting to what kind of fits them or what may work a little bit better here or there. But that's the advantage to being a team, is we're constantly sharing little new details here and there that one or the other is trying to help improve. But yeah, we do have a bit of a template that will get people started.
Good.
So.
Yeah. Just say there's support, getting them set up. You're getting feedback from your people and on what's actually working too. Your team's actually making sales and getting activity done. So that's good to come into it. So Matt, back to you. I'd like to spend some time just briefly on the script. I think, to me, in my opinion, when it comes to telesales, probably the most important thing is the first 30 seconds. When that person says hello, well, what do you do to keep them on the phone? Can you kind of walk us through your script and what you say to get people to stick around and listen?
Yeah, most definitely. So like Ryan said, they come in, the leads will drop, and it's like, for instance, the guy's name, we'll just use like Greg. If I said, call him, it's a fresh lead, it's like, hey, Greg, this is Matthew. I'm just giving you a call. I got your information request just now. You filled that out on Facebook. And that way they're already putting it to like, Well, where did I fill out? Where? Well, no, you were just on Facebook. I know you filled it out. And it immediately like lets them, it kind of validates it. And so you're gonna have the every now and then person who hangs up on you, but the majority is right there. They're like, oh yeah, yeah, uh-huh. And it's like, okay, perfect. Yeah, you were looking into life insurance options. Yeah, and I always let them like pause and let them speak, because right there, if you get any objections, you kind of neutralize it. And so it's just like diffuse anything that might be happening right then and there. But then it's followed up with like, yeah, so you listed, your wife, Pam, as your beneficiary. Is that right? And okay. And it's like, okay, well, cool. Real quick, just tell me a little bit about yourself, your situation, what's going on, and get them talking. So you find that reason, that purpose. What is it that had them fill it out? But without me prying, like I just use it in a way of asking like two questions in one to get them, like it gets them just kind of rattling on. And once you get it opened up, that's all just ammo to use later for like, okay, yeah, okay, you needed it for this or that. And you had a family member just pass who had no coverage and it was a mess. So just using that, what you get, to help build that case. So that really does help letting them feel like they can be heard. And then most importantly, letting them feel like they're getting what they need. Not like, I know you want 50,000. Everyone wants 50,000, but if it doesn't fit the budget and you're just going to charge it back, we're not doing anything. So is it realistically, can we afford 10,000 or 15,000? So everyone has a want. Now what's our need? And just finding that need in order to make sure that they're actually getting taken care of. So really that's like the 30 seconds is just getting them saying, hey, this is Matt, and snagging them and letting them know, yeah, this is who I am, this is what I do, and figuring out what they're looking for and what they need.
What do you think the most common objection is that you hear up front on the phone, and what word track do you use to overcome it?
So I get all the time, like honestly, like, oh no, I'm not interested. And it's like, okay, well, hold on, Greg. Like you filled this out for a reason. Now look, it'll just take a couple minutes. I'm just here to get you the information. I'm not going to sell you anything because nobody likes a salesman. So by telling them like, look, I'm just here to get you the information, it's immediately like, oh, okay, so you're not trying to push anything on me. And now whether or not they take the information I get them and they move forward with it, that's up to them. But it's definitely the most common that I hear, like, oh no, I already have coverage. Okay, that's great. Then I can give you a real fast version. Who do you have? Is it, and go on with a few carriers that are pretty common that most people have. And, just telling them, look, I don't need to give you the whole rundown. You know what you're doing. Now, do you want to see if I can save you money or get you more coverage for the same price? And again, that's like a win. They feel like they're winning, and that's what people want.
What about closing? So you get somebody through this process of pre-qualifying them, they're interested.
Yeah.
What do you say, and what's your strategy to get them to commit to buy today?
Yeah. So nobody, I heard in the beginning a lot, like, I don't know you from Adam. Like, why would I give you my banking? So I always kind of like prepare them throughout the process. Like, no, I'm assuming since you've already got coverage, they're going to draft it from your account. You have a bank? And they're like, yeah, okay, good. So you understand the process that we'll need banking. That right there is already kind of prepared them, and they're not getting blindsided. So by doing that, it's like with closing, I've already kind of built it into it where they're not just getting hit with unexpected, like, wait, why do you need my banking? So I kind of like just bait them a little bit with it, like, here, this is what we're gonna need in advance. And once we get to that point, like SBLI is the perfect example. Like, hey, look, I don't even need your banking right now. You're talking about wanting to think about it. What is there to think about if we don't even know if you can get approved? Like, why don't we just see, my recommendation, let's see if we can get you approved, and, we go from there. And once we get into it, see what we can get them rating wise. If we get them preferred, it's like, look, now this is what you can get, this is how much. And from there, it's like, okay, well, but if they don't need payment today, that's right. They don't have to draft it today. You want to do it on the 3rd of the month? Oh, great. Perfect. Okay. And we just take it from there. So it's like SBLI is been the best so far for me on closing, because it's getting them in. You're killing two birds with one stone, and you're getting them their approval right there. And so it's just like a win-win. And closing wise, once they're always excited, right? They know what they got, because some of them doubted if they would get coverage. they find out that they qualify, and it's like, oh yeah, then let's get it going. Yeah, and so that's more or less the process.
So we're going to talk about leads in a minute. So hang on, guys. For those of you watching, have questions about leads. Totally understand. We're going to cover that in just a second. But let's hit on the questions about carriers. So you mentioned SBLI as a carrier. Why do you like them? And then what other two other carriers do you really like using, selling over the phone online?
Yeah. So my top two that I do a lot of business with is Trinity and SBLI. So Trinity, you're going to have the people that are super skeptical, that, you really had to work just to get their social. Those ones that you're having to work just to get their social, I know when it comes to banking, it's not going to work. Like they're going to fight me. So they feel more at ease and comfortable with someone like a carrier that you can do a phone interview with. So it's like anyone that's already on edge about it, it's like, okay, look, we're going to go through Trinity. We're going to run that process. And now I'm not the bad guy. I'm not taking the billing. They're hearing it from the carrier. And so I push Trinity for, if it comes to someone that's on a tight budget, or if they're skeptical, because they get to talk to the carrier direct. And so that's where Trinity comes into play. Now SBLI, if they're on SSI, that one is where I go straight to SBLI, because if they're in doubt, if they don't know if they'll qualify, let's run it. We don't need any, and people love that. I don't need any banking. I don't have to give that up. Okay, let's try it. And we get them that rating, and it's like, oh heck yeah, let's go. And so those are my top two. I do write Prosperity on occasion. That's just, people with Direct Express cards. Certain medications Trinity won't take, or that Prosperity will. So that's where the third one comes in, is like, if I have to have a fallback, it's Prosperity for the Direct Express purpose. But yeah, really it's Trinity, SBLI, and Prosperity.
Yeah, we like all those. I especially like SBLI for telesales because it has a 90% acceptance rate if you can answer no to all the questions. Plus, like Matt said, you can get a decision quickly. So if you're not using those for telesales, guys, you got to get the right kind of telesales carriers, because they're not all the same. Some of them are complete trash, and we'll send decisions to underwriting to decide on, and then you got to wait around and twiddle your thumbs, and you probably won't get the deal. So carrier selection is a really important lineup. Let's talk leads. So Ryan, I'm going to call you in here. What is your general strategy? So with your agents and yourself, what are you seeing as working really well for an agent focused on telesales in the final expense arena?
So I'm still a firm believer that any lead works. You can make a sale off of any lead. You just need to talk to people and have the ability to actually sell somebody. I will say that for me and my team, what we run on a regular basis, or what we're solely working right now, is self-generated Facebook leads. So essentially, client finds us on Facebook, or they see our ad, they click on the ad, and that takes them through the process of filling out the lead and booking an appointment. But it's all Facebook generated. We are working to expand from that and move into, like your YouTube and Google and so forth. But those all take a lot more time, and oftentimes can be more costly. So Facebook is a great avenue, and has been working really, really well for all of us. So
yeah, we had a person that came to our road shows recently. By the way, daviddufour.com, if you want to check out the roadshow schedule, we're going to do 13 in 2024. These are one-day events, predominantly about final expense, but also other products as well. And one guy complained, he's like, Dave, y'all didn't talk about but two different lead sources: direct mail for face-to-face, and then Facebook for telesales. But the truth is, it's like, it works. If you've got a good system like what Ryan has, you don't really need much else. You get something good that you can scale. That's the key, is being busy enough. You don't need to have some highfalutin, complex lead, that's, it's just, it doesn't need to be complex. It just needs to be simple. So, hey, what matters is scalability and getting the right intent. And even if it's with something as, basic as Facebook leads, more power to you. Matt, I'd like your perspective too on that. What's the leads been like to you? Because I think you've been doing some final expense for a while, 3 months or so. You probably have worked other leads, maybe you haven't, and then that's even better. But what's the experience been like working Facebook leads, as far as like, do they remember it? What's the intent like? Give us your opinion.
Yeah, so I've gotten some outside Facebook leads through Ryan. When I first got started, and the success rate between other vendors and what we're doing, there is a difference now. Just because how old now, it's one thing when they're fresh and they're dropping in. You do have the people though that I had it this morning where someone was like, "No, I didn't fill that out," and it's like, you did, but like I'm not here to sell you anything. Again, it's one of those objections you got to diffuse. So they all, as far as like quality goes, like Ryan was saying, you got to work them. I've sold some on 20 dials. Finally, they pick up, and it's like and they're thankful. They're like, "I'm glad you didn't give up. I was out of town. Thank you for calling. I'm back. Yes, I want to. Let's schedule something." But it's a lot of mental game. Like some people start feeling bad, like, "Oh, I've called them a lot." Well, you don't know what their schedule's like, what they're doing. If you're not leaving a message, like most people aren't, they don't even know who you are when you called. So, let's be honest, nobody calls back random unknown numbers. So really it's just dialing without feeling that guilt and using the Facebook leads on, again, it's what we're running. Again, like I said, you have some that are fresh that they'll sit there and say, "I didn't fill that out." And you'll have some that are from August that I closed, a couple days ago. And it's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah." We go back and cycle them, and I'll work them in between.
So Matt, you made a really important point. Dialing without the guilt or the, the brain, stuff. What did you have that already from another industry, or did you quickly develop it?
No. So I came from an industry of research and development where I built machines. So I have
Definitely not sales.
No. Yeah, I did no sales. Like when I came into it, I almost thought like, what did I walk away from and start? Because you like start doubting yourself in a way. And then it was like, once you get, Ryan, he helped me walk through a couple applications and getting me comfortable. And yeah, it definitely though, as far as it goes with like getting over that guilt, it's like, look, just dial. Like, and yeah, until I get a hard no, like you picking up the phone saying, "No, I'm not interested," then you're still an open lead that's available. So work that lead. And it's normal to, again, have that feeling, but by overcoming it, just lie to yourself. Like, no, it's a conviction. Yes, they need insurance. They filled it out. This is what they want. Call them until you hear from them, and working at that in that aspect.
Ryan, it's funny, isn't it? It's like you get these like ideas in your head about the leads that you're calling, and you don't know nothing. You don't know what's behind that phone. You don't know if they've been in the hospital, shacked up for 6 weeks because of something, right? And you just really have to keep dialing. Thoughts on that? I mean, is that what you do, and it kind of is for yourself as well, because you're still selling just as much?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's like Matt said, you don't know what that person's going through. I'm not one to subscribe to. I care about everything that they're doing, but I know that not every time is the opportune time. So even if they schedule an appointment, Matt can attest to this, that even if they schedule an appointment with us, sometimes they forget about the appointment, and it feels like they're probably never going to call us back. But you keep after them, and so whenever I brought Matt in, I oftentimes heard or he would mention, "Man, I just don't think these people want this, or are these people interested?" And I would tell him, "Look, they requested it. You have to have conviction." I preach this to all my new agents. You have to have conviction. They filled it out. We know this for a fact. So that's a clear distinction from outside vendors to what we do. Okay, so outside vendors, sometimes you got to question, are these people real? Did they actually go out there and fill this out? With our leads, with self-generated leads like this, I know for a fact how the entire process is done. So I know without a doubt, you fill this out. I've literally I want to say it was about a month ago. I had a lady who argued with me right out the gate. I didn't fill anything out. And I said, "Man, we've got, we could generate your IP address. You put your address down as such and such. Your beneficiary is so and so. I mean, you even put a favorite hobby down, So I know exactly what she did. And after that, she said, "Oh, yeah, I did." And I think she was the one that I sold her daughter also,
Yeah,
so
right.
that conviction of knowing, yes, you did request it. Yes, you did fill out all your information without a doubt. So
Thanks, Ryan. Matt, as a newer agent yourself, any advice to those out there who are aspiring or brand new to telesales? What steps and activities they can do to get better faster?
Yes, being confident. No, I mean, I used to hate when I had to let Ryan listen in, because it's like I would get nervous, but like if you can't do it in front of somebody who's like, upline or someone who's watching you, if you can't do it confidently in that, then how do you expect to pitch it confidently to the person over the phone and expect them to believe it? You've got to be confident in everything, the whole process. It can't be you're confident in the opening and the middle, but then it comes to closing and now you want to start stuttering, getting nervous because banking's coming up. It's following through, because I mean, I can say I did that for a couple of them where oh God, here we go again. It's getting to the banking, because that was where I struggled for the first couple, is like getting people comfortable. Well, when you have someone that's like, no, boom, this is what's got to be done. Yeah, then you learn, okay, turn that switch on. Let's continue to be confident. So really, it's confidence is key, because if you doubt yourself, how do you expect the person that you're trying to sell to trust you enough to buy from you? So it's the confidence. It's, where to, dial. Like, definitely, I know people are like, well, I am dialing. We'll just keep dialing. And so it's the confidence, it's the dialing, and just knowing exactly, like having an idea, when someone says, okay, I'm diabetes. Okay, well, are there any complications? What are you taking? That kind of validates that you know what you're talking about by knowing common medications right out the door. You're not asking them, it's just, okay, so is it lisinopril if you have high blood pressure, losartan, it kind of just validates that you do this, you know what you're doing. And so really just running through the script. I used to sit there at night and just read it and just try to get it down. Now, the other thing I will say is I've learned people do not want to be on the phone for an hour unless it's like it has to be. So try to get a yes or no from them in 10, 15 minutes, which sometimes seems fast, but I get more success off that, because at the end of the day, the ones that want it, they want to get it done. I had one lady say, in short, the longer the waitress comes to give me my bill when I'm done, the smaller her tip's going to become. And it's like, okay, well, let's get this going. Like there's people that just don't have the patience for waiting around, and they're just here to get the coverage and they want to move on, So really it's just learning the customer, finding, okay, this isn't a very personable person. Let's get down to business and get it going, So
Awesome. Got a couple last questions here. For the people who are out there, maybe they're looking for a home for telesales. Maybe they're working for somebody and doing telesales, but it ain't what it was promised to be. Give us the top 3 benefits of working directly with Ryan and why you'd recommend agents to do the same.
So honestly, what I've learned throughout this process is having someone like Ryan that will correct you. You get sugar-coated at times, and there's other times where you need him to put down the hammer, right? Like if you're making a mistake, that's a lost sale. You have to understand the importance of it. It's not, yeah, he's a jerk, we're going to teach you, but after a certain amount of time, look, you're making the mistake. This is the problem, fix it. And so with working with him, top 3, one, you're going to get like the training. We have a team that we work with on a Zoom daily. That Zoom, it's where if he's busy, we've got other agents that we work together with that are in our, family group, whatever you want to call it, that, it's like, hey, are you in between a call? Yeah. Okay. I'm having an issue with this. Okay. Well, what's going on? And being able to give each other that advice, because we've all run into something that the other one may or may not have, and you feed off each other. Because at the end of the day, if this person's getting a sale, celebrate it. Now let's go get a sale for this one. And like, it's all about closing, helping across the board, from signature processes, because everyone has their own different process. if it's your first time, you don't know how to explain it to the person over the phone, what to look for. Well, you get that, for instance, in this group. So I would say you get the guidance, you get the constant feedback where we can get better. I mean, I will say there's no way that I would have gone somewhere else and issued 40K in business and without the guidance and having people there like Ryan to help say, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you can do better. And so really it's just the guidance, the Zoom benefits are getting to work from home. You know, you get start early hours and manipulate the clock and use it to your advantage.
That's awesome. Thank you for that, Matt. And Ryan, if you don't mind, for those interested in reaching out to you, just inquire to see if they're eligible to work with you. How should they contact you? Give us whatever you'd like to give.
Yeah, so I think the easiest way to start off the conversation is through email. You know, probably the best way to reach me is Ryan V as in Victor at securencelife.investments.com. They can just email me, you know, if they want to learn more, and we can kind of take it from there and exchange information and see where it goes.
And give us, could you spell out the Ryan V at, what's the rest of that? Spell it out for us, just in case somebody missed that.
Yes. Yeah. So it's RYAN V as in Victor at Securance Life Investments. So that's FECURANCE investments. So that's investment with an S.com.
Awesome. .com. Perfect. Wonderful. All right. Well, Matt, thank you so much and congratulations on all your hard work. You've done a fantastic job. I appreciate you. I know Ryan does too. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on too and explaining how your agency works. And I definitely recommend wholeheartedly Ryan. He's a great person, number one. And number two, he produces great results. So if you're looking for that in the telesales arena, Ryan's got your back. So please reach out. In the meantime, thank you guys and y'all have a good one. See you.
Thanks, Dave.
Yes, sir.